Hello everybody, this is Kay and welcome to my channel, Junking with Gigi. I have a really quick video for you today. This should be my last video for 2024, but before I get on with it, I wanted to say to all of you subscribers and newcomers and anybody who watches this video or any of my videos or have watched any of my videos this year, thank you so much. And I wanted to say I hope you all have had a blessed Christmas and will have a wonderful, happy 2025. Happy New Year to you all. With all that being said, at the beginning of this year, 2024, I started a little project just for my own enjoyment. And what I did was I started making little zines. I don't know if you've heard of a zine. I actually, when I first heard of them, thought, well, that just sounds like a little magazine, and that's exactly what it is. I actually looked up the definition, and what I found on Google was a small magazine that is produced cheaply by one person or small group of people and is about a subject of interest to him, her, or them. So basically it is kind of like a little self-made little magazine. And I just decided at the beginning of the year that I wanted to do one a month for every month throughout this year. And this was a project that I didn't make any videos on until now. I just wanted to have something that I could do to just express myself and for my own enjoyment. And so that's what I've done, but I'm going to share with you today what I've done throughout this year and then show you the basic, easy way to make a little zine. And I'm going to just start with January. This is January, and a lot of what I did on my projects was just collaging. I did include some little sayings, trust your instincts there, you can see. But for the most part, I just used different papers to make these, and I did collaging and some markings. I used a little die cut on this one for January. And they're all just kind of eclectic, just kind of whatever I felt like in the moment. And what I would do is I would start at the beginning of the month and I'd just work on it a little bit at a time throughout the month. So I didn't stress myself out, trying to get this all done in one day. I took my time. This was February 2024. I just kind of grabbed things that were on my desk, and sometimes I doodled, sometimes I used, this is a little applique flower and some threads, stickers and stamps. I just kind of did a variety of things. This one is very fibrous. I must have been in the mood for fabric-y and fiber type things in February. And, I would just grab whatever was laying around on my desk and whatever I felt like. It was just kind of a free-for-all type of project that I did just for myself. And so I was just going to show you, this is March. You can see I put the month and the year on the front of each one. I think I remembered to do that anyway. I used a little bit of crackly texture paste here. Some more collaging. And this one I kind of went a little extra mile there and just added some tissue paper and some markings. And then here I have a quote, either write things worth reading or do things worth the writing, Benjamin Franklin. So it's, like I said, it's just kind of a random whatever type of project. And so I'm just going to show you those real quick as I flip through. This is April. I had a little piece of vellum there I just stamped on. And sometimes what also I decided to do was make little pockets in them, and you can see I just have a little kind of a piece of scrap that I punched some tabs out of tucked into this pocket here. I'll put that back in later. I also made a top pocket on this one. This is a quote I cut out of a magazine. The rule of my life is to make business a pleasure and pleasure my business. Aaron Burr, I'm not sure who that is. I think I probably looked it up at the time, but now I can't remember. And I believe, so this was a label I got off of a package of tea from a local tea company here. I believe this is some journaling. I'm going to make sure. Yeah, this was a little bit of journaling. I'm going to kind of cover it up because I don't want you to see any personal information, but this was on the 26th of this month was the year that my daughter got married this past year, and that was a very special day, and I wrote a little something about that. Okay, for May, a lot happened in May. I got 2 new grandchildren in May. I included a couple of little specimen things there. I think this is a note. Yep, this was a note. I'm going to leave it tucked in there about one of my grandchildren that was born this month. And I think this note, oh, this was a Bible verse that I wrote down. You keep him or her in perfect peace, whose mind is stayed on you because he or she trusts in you. That's from the book of Isaiah. That's a little bookmark I have from a local used bookshop here near where I live. Another Bible verse. That was May. In June, let's see what I did. Made little pockets here and just tucked in a couple of little tidbit scraps into there. Collaging, some drawing. Albert Einstein said creativity is intelligence having fun. A little laminated flower down there. I stapled that in because sometimes the laminating stuff doesn't stick too well with the glue. And I added a little circle punch charm on the back of June's. July, choose happiness. I think I must have been really busy in July. Uh-oh, where's my L? So on this one I did giant letters with a J there, U, L, and Y. Yeah, July is a little bit plain. I must have been super busy that month. I don't know if you can read that. That's a quote by Winston Churchill. It's July. Yeah, some of these I didn't completely fill up because I had a super busy month, but that's the beauty of this project is you can make them simple, plain, you can dress them up because this is just for me. This is not something that I'm giving away. This was just for my own enjoyment and memories. And then, oh, in August, I did my very first craft fair, and I wrote that down here. I did this zine out of a piece of it was plain copier paper that I used like distress oxides on and did a little bit of mixed media stuff on. So I had that in there. Butterfly. I've got a little journaling spot here that I wrote absolutely nothing on. And, oh yeah, these were some Bible playing cards that I found at a yard sale. I felt like that I hit the jackpot when I found that at a yard sale. September, you can see I kind of kept with the color scheme of autumn. That's just a little magazine piece that I cut out and tucked in here. It's in this top pocket here. I'll put it back in later. And drawing, and that's a little embossed little image of some leaves there. And then on this one I also had a tag, which I didn't write anything on. So that was September. October, collaging, pocket, top pocket. Blank. I can tell which months I was really busy and which months I had plenty of time to work on my zine. This is November's zine, and I'm not going to completely open it because I've got a lot of personal stuff written in here. November was a huge month for our family. Someone very, very close to us had to have a very serious surgery this month, and I wrote down a lot about that in here. So I'm not gonna, here's a little journaling card. I'm not gonna open it up too much because it's very private. But I've got a top pocket there. This is just a gold embossed kind of, I had a stencil and I embossed it with some gold. So November, I had a lot of written in, and that's kind of personal. So I'm gonna put that one to the side. And then finally, we've got December. And believe it or not, I just did this whole zine this morning. I got really, really busy for the month of December and kind of forgot about finishing up my zine project. But then I remembered this morning, and what I decided to do on here was I just took Christmas cards that had been sent to my husband and I took all the stamps and some of the images, and I cut them out, and I collaged on here for the month of December. I did include a little photograph of my husband and I and our 5 grandchildren. We've been so blessed in the grandchildren department. And that is all I really did for December, was just some collaging of some stamps and items we got in the mail from friends of ours this month. So this has been just a really, really fun, fulfilling personal project for me this year that I wanted to share with you. And now I'm just going to clear these off a little bit, and I'm just going to show you real quick the basic construction of a zine if you haven't seen it before. So just let me say before I get started with this is that using a thinner piece of paper works best, because this involves folding one piece of paper into kind of a booklet. So I like to use thinner pieces of paper, regular copier paper, or this is a really thin kind of a engineering graph paper. But like a heavy cardstock is going to be hard to do this project with, just because of all the folding that you do with this. So with that being said, this is 8.5 by 11. Now you can use, I think, whatever size you want. If you're in the UK, you might have A4, which is slightly different than this, but the basic fold and cut and all that construction of this is the same, no matter what size paper you use. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to fold this in half lengthwise. And we're not striving for perfection on this either. So I'm going to fold it in half lengthwise and give it a pretty good crease. Okay? And then I'm going to open it back up, and I'm going to fold it again in half the other direction. And give that a good crease. So, I don't know if you can see that. This is what I have. Now I'm gonna put it on my table lengthwise like this, and I'm gonna take 1/2 and fold it up to just before that middle crease, and give it a crease there. And I'm gonna do the same with this side. So once you get all your folds done, this is what you have. You have a piece of paper with kind of 8 sections in it. All right, the next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take it and fold it back this way again, just to kind of find my crease. And basically what we're gonna do is we're gonna cut along these 2 sections in the middle of this. And the way I prefer to do it is with my ruler and a craft knife. You can take a pair of scissors and try to do that. I just find this is easier than trying to get a pair of scissors in there and cut it straight and all that. So I just like to take a craft knife and my ruler, and I start at the intersection there, and I go to the intersection here. If you go a little bit past it, it's gonna be okay. Okay, so I've made a cut in my paper from this intersection to this intersection, and it didn't even go all the way through. Okay, I think my blade on my craft knife is getting dull, but you can see it's cut there. It's just didn't cut completely all the way through. Okay, let me grab a pair of scissors, and because I don't want to rip it. Not that it would be the end of the world if I did, but I don't want to. So I'm just going to try to get my scissors in there and finish that cut. There we go. Okay, so this is what you have. This is open in the middle like this. From here, you need to decide which side of your paper, this side or this side, you want to actually show on the outside of your book. And I kind of want this one. This one, the lines are just real, they're hardly there. So I kind of want the lines to show. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this and I'm going to kind of grab it like this, and I'm going to just push it in so those, where those slits are, kind of gaps open. And those are going to turn into pages. Like, I don't know if I'm explaining this very well. I think you can see without my words how this is going to work out. Now, if you have a patterned piece of paper, you might want to decide at this point what you want your cover to be. I don't think it really matters for me. I'm going to make my cover, I do like my covers to open up most of the time the way a normal book does. So I'm going to make this right here my cover. So what I want to do is I want to flip that over, flip that over, flip this over and fold, and then flip this over and fold. And this is where it gets really bulky, especially if you have a thick piece of cardstock that you're trying to do this with. And even with this thinner paper, I find that sometimes it doesn't come out perfectly even. I'm going to try and straighten this up just a little bit more. Is how you construct a zine, or the base for your zine. And what you do as far as your decoration or embellishing or just writing, drawing, doodling, whatever you end up doing is up to you, but that's how you construct this. If you need to rewind the video and play it on slow again, you can watch it again, but I mean, you can see that it's very, very simple construction, and it basically gives you a front cover, a back cover with 2 pages in between. You can close up the side of a pocket to make a top pocket. On this one, you could close up this, on this back cover, you could close up the top to make a side pocket. It just all depends on what you want to do with it from this point forward. I am going to use this one for my January 2025 zine. I'm going to continue this project and do it again in 2025 just because it has been a very calming, very meditative, mindfulness, relaxing craft that I did this year just for my own enjoyment. Once again, I just want to say thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you so much for your support this year. I hope you had a blessed Christmas and continue being blessed with the new year of 2025. God bless you all.